it is.
What's up, ladies and gents? It's your boy here, G. Hybrid BMX. So, what I got behind me right now is a 22 and a Sunday, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Deuce.
Work! Dude, 22's, son! 22's, son! Don't do work, son! How did you see that coming? Oh my god!
The 22 first. The 22-inch bike, I just picked this up. I was so excited. It was just one of those, like, occasions where, guys, something just falls in your lap. Kind of like the Haro Dave Mirra bike. That's what happened with this framed Defendant Pro 22-inch complete bike. For those of you guys out there that don't know what a 22-inch complete means, it means that the frame is a 22-inch frame and the wheels are also 22-inch. So you have to have 22-inch forks as well. So it kind of does change the geometry. I thought it was just a 22-inch frame at first because the guy kind of posted a picture and said framed BMX bike 22. So I figured, okay, maybe it's a 22-inch frame because there's a lot of guys that were running the 22-inch frame or the 21 and 3/4 and riding 20-inch wheels on it. So I thought, oh, this is just a regular old, 22-inch framed, which I didn't know if that was actually a brand or not. I had heard the brand name before, and that's why I wasn't like super sketchy on it. But honestly, the picture the guy sent me, the only thing I could really tell that it was a decent bike was the fact that it had a pivotal seat on it and 3-piece cranks. With the exception of that, I really didn't know much about this bike, that it was a 22-inch frame. So sale-wise, I was like, let me see what I can do. The price was originally listed at $150, and then they marked it down to $100 the day that I was looking at it. So I, being the shrewd negotiator that I am, texted the person and said, hey, would you take $75 for it? And she responded to me, instead of, we'll do $75, but there's somebody in front of you that is more interested in it. Let me talk to my husband about it because he's the one selling it. I said, okay, no problem, whatever. I said, I'm really interested, so let me know. I said, I have cash on spot, I'm ready to go. She texts me back not even 20 minutes later, and she goes, hey, if you can be here by 4 o'clock, it's yours. I said, no problem. Showed up at the house, or showed up at their place, and the fella came out with this bike. And I looked at him and I said, he's an older guy, he's probably about my age, probably in his 30s. And I looked at the bike and I looked at him and I said, wow, that's in really good shape. Like in my head I said that. But then I said to him, I was like, you getting out of the sport? And he goes, no man. He said, I can't handle these eerie winters. He said, it's too cold for me, so I'm moving back to California. So I didn't want to take this with me, it's just too much. So I gave him the money. I ended up giving him $80 instead of $75. Because it was way more than I expected. And then also, he included two, I don't know if I have them here. They're somewhere around here. I don't know where I put them right now. But he gave me 2 extra tubes, S&M 22-inch tubes. Because you have to have 22-inch tubes to run 22-inch wheels, obviously. And 22-inch tires. So, and a bike pump and like a bicycle repair kit. And he just was like, here, man, I'm getting rid of these too, so just have them. Sweet. So I ended up making out with that. But it's got a velo seat. I think these are, what kind of pedals are these? They're Welgos. Welgos, like low pro pedals. Yeah, decent, like 25 tooth alloy sprocket, nothing crazy. But I finally took it out on its maiden voyage last night. I bought it a couple days ago. And the weather here near me decided to just wake up and be better outside for some reason, which prompted me to get some stuff done around the house and not have time to, of course, spend time with the bike. So last night I took her for a cruise around the block. I realized how much older I am now, and that my body doesn't do as well. But I'll tell you what, this, if you're a middle-aged rider, this is what you want. You want a 22-inch BMX bike, because 24-inch, if you're just cruising around, is great. But if you still want to like do some tricks and like jump some curbs and stuff like that, this is a better option. It's better than trying to throw around a 24 or 26-inch bike. If you're planning on doing some light tricks and like or trail riding, this is your answer. The 22-inch bike is definitely your answer. It was forgiving on my back because it's got really high bars, and because the frame is so long and the wheels are bigger. It's like when you first go riding a BMX bike when you're younger and you're like 5'8" and you ride a 20 3/4 or like a 20 1/2, like it just fits like a glove. That's how this feels. It feels like it fits me. I noticed that like trying to do a 180 with it, I'm gonna have to work with it a little bit to get used to the way it feels when it comes to doing tricks. But for the most part, it feels pretty comfortable. So, like I said, really, really awesome bike. But now we're gonna get to talking about the Sunday primer that I finally got all built up and what we've got going on there. So, I'll be back with you in just a sec. All right, ladies and gents, so let's talk about the Sunday primer here. The Sunday primer, you guys have already, if you've been on this channel long enough, you know the monster wheel set has been on here, as well as the chain on my primary ride for a long time, for at least a couple years. But their Redline and Alienation, they did a collaboration between the two companies to come up with this wheel set. It was a combo that you could buy a couple of years ago that came with the purple chain. It came with a purple sprocket, but I bent that because of a crank situation, which we won't go back down that road. It came with the wheels. It also came with these purple cold forged pegs, which I will honestly probably put on just because they look freaking awesome. And they're knurled on the ends, which my other pegs aren't, even though I do have a pair of Odyssey M pegs, which I do like these, but I might go with plastic sleeve pegs too. If you guys have already ridden plastic sleeve pegs, let me know, and give me in the comments below, give me some pointers on what would be a good brand to buy for that, because I want to get back into grinding. The sprocket is just a simple like CNC sprocket that I picked up at a local bike shop at AR Adams here in Erie. Nice sprocket, it's brand spanking new, and I love the lime green. These are some translucent purple Odyssey twisted pedals, plastic twisteds, which I still need to, this is just a mock-up right now, guys. I don't really have it completely built yet because I got to tighten up the wheels, but I just want to see what it looked like mocked up. This is an Odyssey. This is a Sunday primer frame. It's a 21-inch I just bought not too long ago. You guys should, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know that. This seat is a custom-made seat. I can do the same for you if you want a pivotal seat done or any kind of seat done that you want cloth wrapped that's already been foamed. So that can definitely be done. But I like how it goes with the lime green and everything. Kind of fits the theme really nicely. The forks are actually, I believe that they're kink forks because it has a kink top stem. But when I was sanding them down, they had a GT sticker on them. So they might be GT forks. But I like the cutouts and everything. And they were laying around from a previous build, so I put them on there. And then this is the Mission stem, which eventually will be getting replaced with a top load stem. Hopefully a lime green one. I found a company out of the UK that makes them, and I really like the idea of the way they're set up. The bars are not the traditional bars that I had, the kink bars. I actually went with a pair of stolen, heat-treated ones that I had laying around. And then I put my Vans Colt grips on there. I think it just accentuates it really well. It makes it look nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the brakes put back on. I'm probably going to go with an Odyssey trigger lever for brakes. And I might even just do a whole Springfield brake set just to make it easier on myself. And yeah, that's about it. Cranks wise, nothing special, just some standard, run of the mill 3-piece crank. So nothing crazy there. But yeah, other than that, I'm just excited to ride that one. Just to give you guys a little bit of a more up close and personal with the 22 inch. First off, yeah, 22.23, and they're Nova tires. That's the kind of hard thing. Like, there are some companies that have 22-inch products. That's the one thing I will warn you guys about getting into 22-inch. Finding parts for these outside of like the run-of-the-mill BMX parts, like obviously like your stem, bars, seat post, cranks, hubs. You could probably get away with using the same hubs. I'm sure you could do a different set of hubs and it would work just the same. But as far as the other things like the rims, tires, there are companies that carry them, but they're kind of, this was a trend that just started not too long ago. So I think I did some research, and I think it was like around like 2010 is when you started seeing these come out as kind of like an actual trend in the BMX world. I wish it was one that I knew was going to stick. There are some actual like custom companies that like Ditto that actually make frames that are 22-inch frames, specific 22-inch frames and components. I follow a page on Facebook that's called 22-inch BMX. I suggest if you want to get into 22-inch that you go there as well, because it'll give you some really cool ideas of what you should be buying and get you involved with those companies that make these. But this bike in particular is the cheapest you can get into a 22-inch complete. Brand new, these are like $379. So the fact that I picked it up for as cheap as I did is pretty impressive. It's all kind of standard component stuff. I don't like the fact that it has an unsealed front hub, but I can get over that. It's not the end of the world. It has sealed cranks, which is nice. Comes with a brake set. The brake set seems decent. I don't know if I think it's like Tektro or something. A Velo seat, which is covered in this like black denim, which I think is really cool, and it seems to be pretty strong too. The frame's nothing to crazy write home about. Geometry wise, like I said, it's comfortable like a cruiser, but still has the action, some of the action of a 21-inch or a 20-inch bike. It's just not as squirrely. Like I said, it'd be great for riding trails. It'd be a great trail riding bike. Yeah, so good bike. Really excited to get it. I was going to buy it to sell it, but this is just one of those occasions where I went from selling it to owning it and saying, you know what, I'm going to keep it. So now I have a 22 and a 21, and my bike buying will probably be done for a little while. I'll be purchasing some bikes for clients and whatnot on a kind of more collector type basis. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like being a curator. So making sure that like if someone needs a car, like they do in the car industry, where if you're looking for a certain car, I'll find it and then I'll curate a fee for finding you that bike. That's my plan anyway. And then, I'll rebuild or fix anything that needs fixed or whatever the case may be. But other than that, I'm going to do other bike repairs because I decided I'm also going to start up my landscaping business again. So I'll be running this business plus the landscaping business. The landscaping business is going to take up the vast majority of my time, but I'll still keep making weekly videos for you guys. So let's just get back to the conclusion and we'll sit down and talk about that for just a sec. I know there wasn't a whole lot like of me showing you something that you can do or something you can fix. We'll get into that probably next week. I'm going to start taking apart the Haro. And it doesn't look like the Mongoose is going to sell on eBay, so I'll also be taking that apart I had it up there for $50. We'll see what happens. It's got a couple more days on eBay. If it doesn't sell, I'm going to take it all apart and sell it piece by piece on eBay instead. I think it'll do better that way anyways. It seems as though part-wise, bikes do better when you sell them, when you part them out, rather than trying to sell them as a whole, complete bike. And the local market here is just kind of, I hate to say it, for BMX, it's dead here. There's a lot of people that want to ride mountain bikes and road bikes and stuff like that. Even some of the guys I used to ride BMX with are more into the idea of riding a mountain bike or a cruiser or something like that at this point, which is fine. And I can find them and self-curate them and make decent money doing that. But yeah, again, guys, thanks for showing up. Sorry this video is so late. It looks like I'm going to start doing videos later in the week because that's what I did last week too. So I hope you enjoy this video. I will catch you next week, and we'll start tearing apart some more bikes and talk about having more fun with bikes. So I hope you guys, like I said, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next time on Hybrid BMX. Peace, love, rock, deuces.